Good morning. With Natalia, we took the decision to talk about Chesley Sullenberger. But first of all, I want to introduce a little bit the history and give some important facts about her. In 2009, Chesley Sullenberger, an American commercial pilot, decided to make a ditching in the Houston. After that, some Canadian bears tracked with the both engines, left and right. During the flight, there are like 150 people among passengers and crew. So for that reason, Chesley took the decision to landing in the river because they have an emergency and they have to save all passengers and all the crew. They don't have time to come back to the runway, so for that reason, the best idea that Chesley was that make a ditching in the Hudson River. After the ditching and after the evacuation, the Federal Aviation Administration, that is like the police in the aviation of US, start to make don't believe in him because they tell him that they could come back to the runway, so they don't have to do the ditching in the Hudson River. So this is like an history that is controversial because some people say that Chesley was an amazing pilot and he can save all people and all passengers and crew, but in the other hand, another people say that maybe that not was an emergency, it's just like the Chesley want to do it.
Well, we used WhatsApp to make our survey. So we asked the two following questions. Well, we asked to 30 people in total, but just 10 people answered us. So the answer that we received were from 10 people, just 10 people. So for the first question, would you have landed in the Hudson River as he did? Just 6 out of 10 said yes, they would have done the same as he did, and 4 out of 10 said no, they wouldn't have done the same. Well, many people said yes because it was like, for them, it was just the only option that he had in that moment. He didn't have any other option, just the river and landed there. So, of course, people would have done the same in order to save people's lives, passengers' lives. And the other 4 people that said no, they wouldn't have done the same. It's just because in the answer they said that they weren't capable enough to do this kind of things. So they would have tried to come back to the runways of the airports. And for the second question, there is, after becoming a hero for everyone but not for the authorities, would you continue working for them and in the same field? 7 out of 10 people said yes, they would have continued working for them, and 3 out of 10 say no, they wouldn't have continued working for them. Well, people who said that yes, they would have continued, it's because of their passion, it's the only thing that they know to do, and it's the only thing that they really want to continue doing in their lives. So yeah, it's just because of their passion, and it's because of what they really want to do, not for the authorities or for the airline. And the other 3 people that said no is because they felt that the authorities, the most important part of their profession, didn't trust on them. So this is so sad, and for this reason they wouldn't continue working for them and with them.
Well, now to answer the question, what would you have done differently? With Natalia, we decided that maybe we try to landing in a closed airport. I don't know, maybe if there are in New York an airport that is closed, could be LaGuardia, could be, I don't know, John F. Kennedy, one of that. And in the other hand, we can also land in a park on something like that, that not in a water or making a ditching, because could be a little bit more easy and could be not more controversial, and the Federal Aviation Administration could like support our history and support the emergency that we did. So probably that we will do is that landing in a closed airport or in a park or in a, I don't know, farm or something like that.
Okay, well, and finally, my conclusion or my personal opinion is that since I saw the movie, the Sully's movies about this event, I was in shock. I really surprised because the maneuver that Sully made was really, really amazing. It was an amazing feat, really. But unfortunately, Sully didn't count with the support of the authorities, the most important part of this kind of events. For this reason, and in order to avoid any legal consequences, I wouldn't have done the same as he did. Because I think that it was so risky, and it was about 155 lives that he had in his hands. So I think that I wouldn't have been able enough to do these kind of things, and I would have tried to come back to the runways airport to make a landed there, not in a river, just on the ground, in field, nor in a river. So yes, I think that I'm a chicken and I wouldn't have handled it in the same way as he did.
Finally, like a conclusion, I will have done probably the same as he did, because all of us know that as a pilot, one of our missions of our objectives is that we have to save all passengers, include passengers and crew. So for that reason, I think that the ditching that Chesley did was an amazing, and he can save a lot of lives, a lot of people, and this is something that we have to take in mind because no one can do it. So I am agree with the decision that he took in the moment. I don't agree with the decision of the Federal Aviation Administration that don't believe in him. And yes, probably I will have done the same as he did. If I was a pilot, obviously I can feel a lot of nervous, and I can feel scared in that moment. But I have to be like focused in to resolve the emergency. So if I could make a ditching like he did in the Hudson River, I'd do it.